I think something strange is happening to people. They're still here. They still go to work. They still pay their bills. They still buy groceries, answer messages, scroll through their phones, and do everything they're supposed to do. But mentally, a lot of people are checking out. I see it everywhere. People seem less interested in participating in society the way they used to. They don't believe working harder is necessarily going to get them ahead. They don't believe buying a house is realistic. They don't believe retirement is guaranteed. Some don't even know if the job they're doing today will exist 5 or 10 years from now. So they're asking themselves a question. What exactly am I working toward? For a long time, society operated on a basic promise. You worked, sacrificed, saved some money, built a career, and eventually life became a little easier. Maybe that promise was never perfect, but people believed in it. Now I think that belief is disappearing. When rent takes a huge portion of your paycheck, groceries keep getting more expensive, insurance goes up, transportation costs more, and practically everything comes with another subscription or fee. Eventually, you stop feeling like you're building a life. You start feeling like you're maintaining one. That's a completely different feeling. And I think that's why we're seeing people quietly withdraw. They're not necessarily marching in the streets. They're not making some dramatic announcement. They're simply participating less. They don't want the promotion anymore. They don't care about impressing the company. They don't want to spend money just to look successful. They're questioning whether they need the expensive car, the giant house, the newest phone, or all the other things society told them were supposed to represent success. Some people aren't even chasing success anymore. They're chasing peace. And I understand it. Because when you've spent years running on a treadmill and realize you're barely moving forward, eventually you start wondering why you're running. I think that's one of the biggest changes happening right now. People aren't necessarily giving up on life. They're giving up on the version of life they were sold. There's a difference. People still want happiness. They still want friendships. They still want love. They still want meaningful work. They still want enough money to live comfortably. They want to be comfortable. They want comfort. But more people seem skeptical of the traditional path that's supposed to get them there. And underneath all of this, I think there's exhaustion. People are tired. Not just physically tired, mentally tired. Tired of worrying about money. tired of constantly hearing bad news, tired of watching everything become more expensive, tired of algorithms fighting for their attention, tired of comparing themselves to strangers online, tired of feeling like they're falling behind even when they're doing everything they can. Eventually, the human mind starts protecting itself. You stop caring about things you used to care about. You stop following every controversy. You stop arguing with strangers. You stop chasing every new trend. You start pulling your energy inward. That's what I mean when I say people are quietly checking out of society. They're still living. They're just becoming more selective about what deserves their attention. And maybe society should pay attention to that. Because when millions of people start feeling disconnected at the same time, that's bigger than individual frustration. That's a warning sign. A society can't survive forever on people simply going through the motions. People need something to believe they're building toward. They need community. They need purpose. They need some sense that tomorrow can actually be better than today. Because eventually people stop asking, how do I succeed in this system? And they start asking, how much of this system do I actually need in my life? I think more people are asking that question right now than we realize. And they're answering it quietly. They're simplifying. They're withdrawing. They're protecting their time. They're lowering their expectations. They're refusing to play certain games anymore. They're checking out of the noise. Maybe the biggest story isn't that people suddenly stop caring. Maybe it's that they cared for a very long time, kept trying, kept working, kept hoping things would improve, and eventually realized they wanted something different. Not more. Not bigger. Not faster. Just a life that actually feels worth living.